Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Let's Talk, the series where sometimes one episode is about two movies. This is your friendly neighborhood Birdman, and today we're talking Transformers 1 and Speak No Evil. Two mining bots, Orion Pax and D16, dream of a better life than just mining Energon. They, along with all the mining bots, can't transform like other bots on Cybertron, so they spend their time trying to prove to everyone that there's more than meets the eye. One day, Orion Pax gets D16 involved in a scheme to prove to Sentinel Prime they can be more than lowly miners when they discover a plot that threatens the entire planet. I love this movie. From the 90s inspired art style to the brilliant voice cast, this movie was everything I needed a prequel Transformers movie to be, and then some. I've honestly been hoping for more G1 style Transformers films ever since the opening scene to Bumblebee, and this has quenched my thirst. It starts out a little safe, but as the narrative progresses, the action and stakes continue to ramp up until we reach the brilliant climax that had my theater cheering. Let's talk about the good. Chris Hemsworth plays Orion Pax, or Optimus Prime before he was Optimus Prime. While I would have preferred an actual American or Canadian actor to portray a character with this accent, I thought Chris was just as inspiring and motivational as Peter Cullen has been all these years. And the only reason I bring up the accent is because, like most Brits and Aussies that try to do an American accent, they overpronounce their R's, and it's very noticeable for a Native American English speaker like me. It's a little thing, but it was noticeable. Anyway, this is a younger Optimus Prime, so he's definitely a bit of a knucklehead, and like Rise of the Beasts, I enjoy seeing a different take on the heroic Optimus we are all accustomed to. This one likes to joke around, and although he can be serious, he's just a young dude trying to figure out his place in life, and I found that very relatable. Brian Tyree Henry plays D16, or Megatron before he was Megatron, and Orion's best friend. When the movie first started, I just couldn't see how Brian's pleasant voice would morph into the villainous Megatron, but as the film went on, he became more jaded, more upset with the world, and how he thought the world should be. Of course, I never should have doubted Brian because he always delivers. The film actually shows this progression with his eye color, and I thought that was a nice touch. Speaking of progression, one of my favorite things about this film was how they showed the slowly deteriorating relationship between two best friends. We all know that Prime and Megatron are mortal enemies, but here, they love each other and have each other's back. The film does a great job breaking your heart when they finally reach a breaking point in their relationship, and as I always say, when a movie is able to purposefully elicit an emotional reaction, they're doing something right. Seeing the fall of Megatron and the rise of Optimus Prime was really sad and inspiring at the same time. It's an incredibly weird feeling that is hard to describe. I just know how it felt. The voice cast is pretty spectacular. You've got Keegan-Michael Key as Bumblebee, who absolutely nails the role, easily the funniest character in the movie. Scarlett Johansson plays Elita 1, Prime's second-in-command. John Hamm, Steve Buscemi, and friggin' Lawrence Fishburne round out this amazing cast. Like, seriously, what the hell was the budget on this thing? If I had to reach for negatives, I would say the main one is this film is less violent than the live-action movies are. I would have preferred a bit more brutality in the fight scenes than we got, but I'd imagine the studios are looking to loop in kids with this release. But its tone is somewhat uneven, as I specifically remember Elita 1 cursing in the film, and I remembered that because I thought that would mean this was an animated film for adults. Unfortunately, it's a little cautious in this regard, and that can be disappointing for some. I would also say the antagonist of the film is on the weaker side, but that could have just been a me thing. It would be fair to say that this film is mainly about Orion and D16's relationship, but that doesn't mean a film's antagonist should be something of a cartoon. Pardon the pun. N.A. Now let's switch gears to Speak No Evil. You've probably seen the trailer for this film a billion times by now, so you already know the plot. A family of three are on a vacation in Italy when they meet another family of three led by patriarch Patty, and they immediately hit it off. They get invited to Patty's isolated home in the English West Country, where they discover there's a sinister reason for why his son doesn't speak. James McAvoy. Just wow. This man has already proven how capable of a villainous actor he could be with Split, but this movie solidifies it. He blew my mind with his performance here, and if he doesn't get some type of nomination, it will have been a tragedy. He owns every scene, every bit of dialogue he's given, and he's downright frightening. Just his facial expressions and mannerisms are terrifying, and it's truly a treat watching him choose scenes. The movie is a bit of a slow burn, but the thing is, it's one of those entertaining slow burns where there are interesting things happening as the film takes its time setting everything up. The movie realistically portrays how someone can be extremely charismatic and draws in an unsuspecting couple, so the slow burn doesn't really feel slow. Surprisingly, these are the moments where the film injects a bit of humor that felt timely and very well placed. The movie soon twists into a psychological thriller where you're not exactly sure why you shouldn't trust Patty and his family, but you know something is terribly wrong here. The funny thing is, the movie doesn't rely on blood or gore to freak you out. It's mainly James McAvoy just being an unhinged lunatic that delivers the thrills. However, I found the protagonists to be some of the most insufferable motherfuckers I have ever seen in a horror movie. First of all, the mother, played by Mackenzie Davis, is clearly a neurotic helicopter parent who babies their extremely annoying daughter. The daughter suffers from some undisclosed anxiety where she needs to have this stuffed bunny rabbit or she goes apeshit. The father, rightfully, thinks his wife is babying their daughter, so he's a bit of an asshole about the situation, but he himself suffers from being one of the most limp-wristed, castrated men I've ever seen in my life. And if that wasn't enough, these have got to be some of the stupidest characters in a horror movie to date. Terrible decision after terrible decision. There were so many opportunities for them to have just escaped, and as if they knew they were in a horror movie, they inexplicably make choices that prevent them from escaping. It's like they got hit with the stupid gas from the film Cabin in the Woods. It was so bad you had people yelling at the screen in my showing. And that's really what holds this movie back from being a perfect thriller. The film relies on the family making poor decisions because, quite literally, the plot would have ended had they done one thing right. Everything else is great. The pacing is tight, the story, stupid decisions aside, is fun, you have a brilliant antagonist, and the movie makes you uncomfortable in all the right ways. I think James's performance carries the film, and rightly so, because the marital drama between the couple just didn't cut it. So for me, the only real negative is the stupid family and that stupid-ass bunny. B+.